Episode 50, basically Monday podcast on a Monday again, as usual. Happy to be back with y'all. My two co-hosts, John and Valero. John, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Got a lot of snow, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say we owe Valero like a half apology, cause it definitely did snow a lot, and it's March, and like literally it became like officially spring like a day before it actually happened. Like the spring equinox hit, and then like the snow dumped. So
No,
it's
this
still
isn't the
like
real one.
yeah, you're still like a month early, but like this is
Nah,
There's
it was
there's
like
gonna be
pretty
still
another.
hella early.
Winter is coming. It's
But
gonna
yeah.
be like July. No, it's gonna be like June 15th. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Summer snowstorm. Actually, it's technically spring. Late spring snowstorm in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
First two
Tuesday.
weeks of June.
Yeah, I won't doubt you anymore.
If it happens,
Uh,
holy shit.
that would be actually very bad. But at least I'll be like prepared. Like I'm not like gonna put away my like winter coat or my boots or anything. I'm just gonna leave them out there forever, just in case.
Yeah. You're only gonna have like 4 weeks of summer anyways, and then it's right back to winter.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, Valero, Mr. Farmer's Almanac himself, how are you doing today?
Farmer's Almanac. Pretty good. Not bad, not bad. Busy day, like every day is, but yeah, it was a good day. Like nothing crazy like bad happened or anything. I feel like if nothing bad happens in a whole day, then like that's net positive.
For sure, and especially on a Monday, like
That is true.
you want your week to start off pretty pretty smooth. Have we had this conversation before? Like, what's the best day for something to go wrong?
I would say like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably Tuesday, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably Tuesday. What do you think, John?
Something to go wrong?
Hmm.
Like, I guess it depends if it's my personal life or not, but yeah, I guess. I think like a Friday probably for me.
Yeah, that makes sense to give you like some fairly free days to take care of it. It's not like you
Yeah,
have work going on at the same time.
right. Yep, that is
Mm.
my thinking.
All right. Well, yeah, I can work with that. Good thing it's Monday because things went wrong when Valero was making this ramen bowl. No, I'm kidding. Um,
No, they did go wrong
so
in my
yeah, before
brain.
we started before we started this recording, Valero put in the general chat like I will say a very like well produced and like put together video of himself like making his dinner before. I think this is like maybe like a late night snack. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I did have dinner already, so right. It's dinner
Yeah,
number two.
but yeah, definitely like YouTube short, TikTok, whatever we were talking about last time, that type of quality. And you
Thank
sent
you.
it to us for our like our opinions on it. And I told you I wanted to ask you about it on the podcast because to me it just seemed like a general like food video that I see everywhere now in that short format. But it seemed that you were looking for like a different reaction. So
Like, did
I'm
you watch
wondering
the
like
video?
yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so like, I made this is like the whole thing actually only took me like to record it and to like edit the video and post it only took me like less than 10 minutes, which like it makes
Well,
me feel good when
don't
you
sell
said it
yourself
was like
short.
well produced. I was like,
Like
oh, that's good. Like if
you
I
have to
could do
like
that,
yeah, you have to like frame things. Like you have to decide where to put like the camera and like stuff like that. That takes creative foresight.
that's true. And I like literally went like days ago and bought like this little like phone stand so I can like mount my like set my phone up on desk and like do that very thing. So I mean, yeah, like I did kind of there was some work put into it. But like as far as today, like It wasn't bad. It only took me like 10 minutes. But anyways, so like I just like quick recorded myself like making this abomination of what I thought was an abomination of a meal. But it was like usually like a lot of times during this I'll eat uh like I don't know, what is this called? Like cup ramen, bowl ramen. It's just like those bowls that you can get with like everything you need in the ramen and you just like rip off the cover, add water basically, and then like it's like a whole entire like little ramen meal.
Hmm.
But like it doesn't have any like meat or anything. So I got some chicken nuggets on my way here and I cut up the chicken nuggets and put them in the ramen. Did you see that part of the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you both were like, "Yeah, that seems about right." Like you had
Yeah.
zero reaction.
I've done that
That's
before.
insane.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess maybe.
I've done
Did you
worse.
guys?
Like
I feel
my
like that's perfectly normal to want
yeah,
like
my
a different texture with
Ew.
your ramen. That makes perfect sense
That's
to me.
yeah.
disgusting. Like normally you just use actual
Disgusting.
chicken or like something more edible, but like
Nah.
McDonald's chicken nuggets, like,
But you went
ugh.
and bought it, like
Yeah, who care?
specifically.
Yeah, who cares? It's
Yeah,
Wait,
but I
so
was
did
like,
you want it to be disgusting? Did you buy it just so that people would be like, "Why'd you do that?"
no, no.
Are you
I feel
sure?
like I was just
that's what
like,
it sounds like.
I must be pregnant or something. I'm not even sure. Like, but like literally as I'm buying it, I'm like, this is gonna be disgusting. But like there was like a part in me that was like deeper down inside where it's like, who gives a fuck? It's gonna be so good. Like, just eat it. So
Okay,
No,
like I
I
was
mean,
wait, so you
that
liked
part.
it or you didn't like it? Now I'm confused.
I liked it, but I'm ashamed about it.
Why? Why would you be ashamed of liking food? I don't understand what's happening.
I mean, like,
ashamed
if
enough
you
to
liked,
record yourself making the whole thing.
yeah, no, I'm not like actually that ashamed, but like, I'm like a little bit ashamed, like 10%
What
ashamed.
is going on?
Yeah, ashamed enough to record. Yeah, I'm so ashamed right now.
I don't understand like
Yeah.
what's shameful about it? Like what do you feel like
Well,
find
like,
unacceptable about it?
first off, like, cup ramen is already like a bottom shelf meal. Like, usually you're only eating cup ramen like out of pure convenience or you're poor. One of the two. Like, but like, it's not because of food quality of any sort. So then to add McDonald's chicken nuggets, which is like the epitome of bad like food, like there's nothing good about McDonald's chicken
So
nuggets.
so for you every meal
But to
has to
add the
be
two
like
together,
so for you every meal that you eat has to be like adding some type of like substance, like some type of food like nutrients. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it doesn't have to, but that's the goal of food, unless you're like just eating because it tastes good, and you wouldn't think you'd be eating cup ramen and McDonald's chicken nuggets because they taste good.
I
Honestly,
don't
like,
know. They're like manufactured to taste good.
Yeah, I don't
do
yeah.
you guys think it tasted good? So you've tried this and you're like, that was good. I liked
I
it. I'm
don't
not ashamed.
I don't know if
I
I
would
did it
tell my
with
parents I had that for dinner, and they would be
what
proud of me.
why would what? I don't even understand that impulse to be wondering if my parents would be proud or not based on what I ate. That's crazy.
Yeah, would your parents have any reaction to you eating that? Like, what's like? Let's say you're like, yeah, every night I have ramen and chicken nuggets mixed in the same thing.
My mom would say that's not food. That those
Yeah,
exact words. She'd be like, "That's not
same,
food."
same, 100% the same. Like, she would not be like, oh, good, I'm glad. Like, this is good. Like, she would be like, what? Like, no, you need to do something better for yourself. Like, I understand you're just like you're young, but like, you still gotta take care of yourself. Like, yeah, someone would say something like, oh, like clearly he's suicidal. Like he should probably get some help or something.
They would say all of that if they just knew you had that meal one time. Like that's
I
Yeah,
would
that's a
say
little
that
those
to
far.
are
someone if I saw them eating it one time. I'd be like, oh, they need an intervention.
Dude, if I had cup ramen and like, what if you just, especially it depends on what age you are probably, but like even at our age, like if you just wanted those two things, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like now, if you were eating that every day, that probably isn't good for you. But if you're just eating once for taste, like why is that a problem? Like
That's crazy.
not everything you eat needs to be this nutrient packed bomb of joy for your body.
So
Like
like,
that's just not realistic.
what if I recorded a video of me eating straight dirt from a cup? Would you guys be like, yeah,
What
don't
the?
like that's not good?
What?
Because that's what I consider cup ramen and chicken nuggets mixed together.
Okay. I guess I don't see those two things as equal, so that's hard for me to
But
put
I
together.
understand like having that opinion, but then what I don't understand is that you went out of your way to go buy these things.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't get it.
even there was like so many other choices.
Honestly, if I would have known nobody cares about it and it was a normal meal that people eat all the time, as it seems to be from this 2 to 3 consensus here, or 2 to 1
Well, I'm not
consensus,
even saying
I would
that.
have not bothered. I'd be like, huh, I'm not exploring or engineering anything new here. Like, why make myself suffer? Like, but
I'm not even
but
saying
now
it's
that
a
I
normal
know,
meal. I'm just saying I'm not worried that as much as you seem to be implying people are worried about like what other people eat. If they told me that, I'd be like, okay, like that's fine. Like I can't I don't know enough about you to be telling you what you should eat.
McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Interesting.
I feel like
So,
if
uh,
someone ate that in front of me, I'd be like holding back gagging noises, like, huh?
really?
Okay.
Okay,
I don't get it.
that's fascinating. But
Yeah.
this kind of like
I still
brings me
don't get it.
to a topic that I wanted to talk about for a while now, actually. Um, and that's like the current like status or nature of like eating or like how people feed themselves throughout the day in America specifically because and I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode like the way it is in Kenya where I was like last month and earlier in the year it's like vastly different than to how it is here. And the thing that you're describing, Valero, with the cup ramen and the chicken nuggets and stuff like that, it seems to me that is like more the norm in the way that you're saying like you don't even have a reaction. It's like, yeah, I think people like 35 and maybe even 40 and under, like when they have like those type of foods, it's like, oh yeah, this is like food. They don't think of it as junk food anymore.
Mm.
Whereas like over there in Kenya, like you're still like actually making everything yourself. Like you would know where the meat came from. Like you would know who like raised that chicken and like you would make the noodles yourself and like all that stuff. And it seems to me that like it's becoming less and less common for people here to know how to make anything actually. And I'm just wondering like do you think how you just put those chicken nuggets in that ramen is that representative of like your everyday like meal like preparation or like how you get or access food? Not just you, Laura, but like you too, John. Like right now, like did both of you have like breakfast and lunch today?
I
Yeah.
don't think I had either,
Yeah, I did.
but I had 2 dinners.
Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna ask you first then. Do you think like that's pretty normal for you?
A lot of times. Sometimes I'll have lunch though. It's not normal for me to not have lunch, but like it's also not normal for me to not have lunch. It's also like I almost never eat breakfast, like ever.
Okay. So like on a do you have any idea like what you're gonna have for lunch tomorrow?
No, never.
All
Like
right,
I would
so
never think about that until the moment I'm hungry.
interesting. What about like dinner? Do you know what you're gonna have for dinner tomorrow? Or like what options you have?
I try not to think about it.
And that's like pretty common. It's always been like that since you moved out of your parents' place.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Like I do not, yeah, I'm not good at meal planning. Not only am I not good at it, I just don't even like to do it. Like,
And everyone that you've lived with like up until now, I feel like usually, and you two correct me if I'm wrong, like once you start living with someone, like your diets kind of have to become the same unless you like really get and understand each other, or have been, or I mean, like that. I guess you could run into some people that are mature and like experienced enough with living with others to make that work. But it's been my experience that you kind of have to eat the same things. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, at least in my experience, not that it has to be that way, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um, that has not been my experience, but I don't know what it would be for most people. So like in my experience, like I'm vegan, but Danielle isn't, and Mila aren't. So I'm living in a situation where our diets are different. Now, like, there are
yeah,
general.
but not you're like a family. That's totally different. I mean, like
Oh, okay. You just said living together. I didn't realize you're excluding families.
you don't have an option to just like be like, oh, I'm not gonna live here anymore. Like,
Okay, so you're
or
only talking about
let me
people who have that option.
roommates then. Let me say roommates then.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Uh, no, I feel like you could have different. I think you have different diets. It depends on what stage of life you're in. Like in college, yeah, I would say your diets probably coincide because you probably don't have the means to have a whole separate diet. So that could just be easier to just buy like communal things that you could all enjoy together. But like if you're older, like at this stage of my life, if I had a roommate, I would definitely have a separate diet from them. Like I don't know if that would be difficult or not, but I would make it work because I don't want to be locked into food choices based on what you are feeling.
Hmm. Okay. And when Valero, you said you think it's difficult if you don't both eat the same things.
Yeah, that would be very inconvenient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel the same way in that I'm someone that does think about it like way ahead of time. So like I want to be able to make whatever I want to eat at any given moment and not have to like go somewhere or buy something. So I usually have like a list of 5 to 10 different things that I can make during the week, just like there and ready. And it would be very hard to do that for like two separate people.
Yeah.
Like you have to
Yeah.
like buy double groceries basically. Or I guess you could get like pretty creative, but still like now like you're thinking about all that stuff and that's kind of
It's hard enough to think about it as is. Like I feel like
so is that why like you feel more comfortable buying things that are more like prepared in that way?
oh, because like that's something that like I would have eaten with like who I'm with, you mean?
Like you didn't have to think about it. You didn't have to consider.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like there was no planning. The only planning was the intuition to buy it at the store before I got here, like which is pretty good. And I just need water and a microwave. So yeah, that's 100% why. Like if it's like something that takes like more than like 20 minutes to prepare or even 15, like that's like yeah, it never goes that well for me. Like I get too distracted. Like there's just I'm too much of a perfectionist also like when I'm like cooking too. So all of it just ends up taking way longer like and it's just like yeah, it's if I actually cooked all my meals, I would have zero free time. Like 100% zero. So like yeah, I feel like I just kind of have to. Although like if I cooked a meal, like it would taste and be so much better for me, like by far. But like, yeah, like I said, who the fuck has time for that?
Uh so would you put, let's say, uh something like that's like actually homemade enough. Um let's say somebody made like shredded chicken tacos and there's also a Qdoba bowl available. Do you consider both of those the same level of like real foodness?
Actually, yeah, I do. Qdoba, because I used to work there, so I've literally seen what they do to make the stuff, and it's just like normal. Like it's just normal rice. They cook it back there. They cook the chicken like normal. The meat, all of it gets cooked like exactly like how you would in your own kitchen. So yeah, I would consider Qdoba like and Chipotle like normal good food.
What about you, John?
What's about me? What specifically are you asking? If I
Like, would you consider those two things the same level of realness? Let me change it to um I don't know.
You said a shredded
Yeah, a
chicken?
sofrito, like a sofrito burrito, and I don't know, a stir fry that you made yourself at home. Like,
No,
are those the same?
no, not even close. No,
Is there anything that you could buy that would be like the same in your mind?
unless I had a real good idea of how you made it, probably not. Like there could be a place or two where I could see if they have like super high quality standards. Like I don't mean like kitschy where they're making vegan food to look like, meat eaters food. Like I'm not saying like burgers and shit, but a place that just uses like the craziest freshest ingredients, then maybe, yeah, okay. If I buy from that person, I would assume that their quality is probably something that you could get at if you just actually made it. The only problem is not necessarily like, do I think you could cook? Like, do you do quality cooking processes? It's like, what do you use? It's the ingredients. Like, you could spice up shit, and it's still gonna be like shit. It's just gonna be prettier.
Mm.
So I
So
just
it's your opinion right now. Sorry to cut you off.
no go.
It's your opinion right now in the year 2024. If you're listening to this in 2222,
Yeah, oh shit.
it is your opinion that it is a it is a difficult task to go out of your house and buy food that you believe is proper nutrition for you.
Um,
That's prepared,
y-
not like groceries.
Yeah, yeah, no, yes, that is my opinion. Yes, there are certainly more options that are not quality. If that helps clarify it all. Like I feel like the quality to non-quality, it's like, or non-quality to quality is like at best like being super generous, like 15. It's like 85-15 if I had to guess.
So there's only a 15% chance you could find and buy food from outside your home that you did not make yourself that you would think, wow, this was a really good, like quality, nutritious meal.
if
I'm
I
glad that
if I just picked a place on a wheel at random, yes, I think that I would have an 85% chance to pick something that was bad for me.
what do you think, Laura?
And the wheel is make it at home or what?
In, when you go out to buy food, prepared food to eat yourself, as compared to food that was made by either yourself or someone that you know, and you know the ingredients that they use, like how likely is it that you could get that same quality of food when you go out to eat? Like, do you think it's like a 50-50 chance that the food's going to be just as good, or you think it's like impossible, or do you think most of the time the food is just as good?
Mm, I would say, yeah, yeah. What did you say? 85-15? That sounds about right, John. Like
Yeah, 85
85%
bad,
chance is not going to be good,
not as
and
good.
15%
Yeah.
it'll be
So
good.
you,
But I will say, if you go to a really expensive restaurant and spend like maybe 50 plus dollars on a plate, usually I will actually like be like, okay, that was actually fucking good. Like I've had good experience with really expensive restaurants where it's like, wow, I'm
Yeah,
like impressed.
same.
Like it was actually like to the level that like me or like maybe like my parents would cook something for me or like something like that.
and it wasn't like it was how it tasted that impressed you, not just like the weird ingredients or anything.
Right, right. Yeah. Like it'll be like something that I would normally like literally like salmon and like broccoli and like rice, but like it's different between like them what I make at home and like not Red Lobster, but like who's worse than Red Lobster? Like fucking Applebee's.
Ugh. Ugh.
Like it's all the same ingredients, like the three same ingredients, but like
Like
it's
I
just so
can't even
different.
believe I ate there.
Yeah. So you're saying both of you think that most of the time, I guess not you, John, because it seems like you actually plan ahead most of the time. Um, but if you're out in the world and you're about to buy food, you are preparing to have a bad meal in America in 2024.
Yeah, the average person, yeah, they're definitely planning on having a bad meal for sure.
And you know it's gonna be bad.
I don't think they know. I think that's the
Okay,
difference.
but
I
Valero,
don't
so
think they know.
Valero, do you know and just buy it anyways?
Yeah, yep. I waste so much money like on food because like I'll be desperate to eat. I also have an appetite problem. But like how do you blame me for having an appetite problem when you know
I'm
85% of
not
the
blaming
chance
you,
you're
right?
gonna have no, not you, but like just like like I can't be blamed on myself for like anything because yeah, I know that 85% of the food out there is gonna be nasty. So like but like I have to eat to survive. Like when I'm out at work, like I didn't pack a lunch because like that would take way too much pre-planning. So like I have to buy something, which means 85% chance like I'm gonna like not like it. So like literally like I would
And
say like
That would take way too much
whenever
pre-planning. You said.
whenever I'm out for like work and I have to buy lunch like when I'm out, I would say yeah, I would say 40% of the time I either look at the food, take one bite, and throw it directly in the garbage because it's so nasty, or I never take a single bite because I can just tell how nasty it is. And then I'll just throw a brand new meal that I just paid like $15 for just directly in the garbage. And I'll just accept it. I'll be like, yep, it wasn't good. Yeah, like I just
you know,
there's
like,
just
it wasn't good.
there's just like
So
almost
like
no
what?
way to
What
avoid
was
it.
the difference between that and the chicken nugget noodle bowl that you made?
See the chicken
How
nugget
how is
noodle
that
bowl.
better than
It
whatever
could
it
have
was that
been
you threw?
disgusting, but the chicken nuggets were actually really crispy, like extremely crispy and like pretty good actually. So it made it like good. But if the chicken nugget, it's a complete
So you
gamble.
say it
Like
tastes. You
the
say it
chicken
tasted
nuggets
good.
could have been disgusting though. Like in fact, I expected them to be more disgusting, like soggy, cold, not crispy at all, like
So they were
and
good.
rubbery.
Yeah,
So they
so it
were
was
good,
good then.
but it was still not real food in your consideration.
No, well, I
No,
mean like
not real
that's
food.
because chicken nuggets are like made of like white styrofoam or something like that. So like, of
Okay,
course it's not real food.
so all right, so real food is what to you right now in 2024 in the United States of America? Like
I
what?
would say anything that has a drive-through has a lot of not real food in there.
Yeah.
Like it's food technically, I guess, but like
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like, where do you go to get real food?
to get real food, oh,
Yes,
like I said, an expensive restaurant. Like if I actually want to know that I'm gonna get something good, I have to go to a sit-down restaurant that's like actually good, like for real good.
but what about like on a daily basis? Like, you have to eat, right?
Yeah, no, I have no choice. So like I just go through a
So you're
drive-through
telling
and
you're telling me that
You do have a
every
choice
day,
though, but you
every
do.
day you eat
You
bad
have a
food.
choice. Like he has a choice. I don't understand why we're just letting him say this over and over again. He
no,
has a
my hands are
he
tied.
has a choice. Like just go to the grocery store. What is the
I have
problem?
I have
Yeah.
no option.
So no, that's what I'm trying to like understand. So even at the grocery store, you wouldn't say that there's like real food there.
No, at the grocery store there is, but I have to like prepare it. Like, how am I gonna
Okay.
prepare food in my car while I'm driving?
All right. No, I get it. Like that's like some people just like they need to be on the move like that. Like they have shit going on. Um Okay. All right. So, in your
That's
estimation,
very few actual people. I just have to say
that's
that
no, it's
we
fine.
cannot
But
we cannot
but
drive
he's telling
past
the
that like
truth.
that's a normal thing. Like he spends enough time at
I don't
home that
know.
he
It's
can
becoming
make
more.
meals.
It's becoming more and more
No,
normal.
no, do not let him. That is
How am I
some
supposed to
people.
make a
That
meal and
that
then
is
warm it up in my
that is
car? There's no
certainly
microwave in my car.
that is certainly some people, but that is not you. You can
There's no,
figure out a way
there's
to
no
make
microwave
meals.
in my car.
You can
Like
absolutely figure
even
that
if I
out.
eat like a peanut butter and jelly, I like to have some milk with it. But you can't take milk with you. I mean, you could if you bring like one of those cooler lunch boxes, but then like you have to clean it when you get home because like if something like spills, it might. And like no, all of this is already way too
Yeah,
much work.
yeah.
You literally just go to McDonald's,
Fuck.
roll the dice, maybe get something good, maybe not. and just
Shit.
it's just like that's
I
it.
don't know. I mean, it seems like the dice you're rolling is like real shit. Like there's only a 15% chance you're gonna win.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at
Okay,
all.
okay. Think about it like this. Like either I will spend 100% of the days that I leave the house preparing food for myself, and at least I'll know it's like good and edible, supposedly. Like, if I find something that actually saves good, let's say I do, yeah. So I'll know it's edible,
Mhm.
but I always have to spend the time, 100% of the time, preparing this food. Or if I don't prepare the food, then 85% of the time, or actually, I said it was like 40%.
You're
Like
making it
40%
sound
or
worse.
60% of the time, I'll have lunch, but 40% of the time, I won't have lunch. But I will never have to waste any time preparing food ever. So, like,
Yeah. That makes it
there
sound
are
worse to me.
trade-offs.
Yeah, so this is why like I'm so fascinated and interested in this right now because like in Kenya it's like not even a question that you're gonna prepare your own food. Like
Yeah.
that's like just like part of like the day. Like everyone knows that we're about to spend 2 hours like making lunch and like that's just like how it's gonna go.
2 hours making lunch. You
Yeah.
have to start right when you're done
Two
with breakfast.
2 hours?
Yeah.
2 hours is pretty
What the? You're
wild.
just
I'm not
spending
gonna
all
lie.
day eating. But
Yeah.
honestly, like 2 hours is how long it takes me to cook a meal too. Honestly, like
What?
for real.
What the fuck are you making?
Like if I make anything that's like real, like quote unquote, with like actual ingredients that I made myself, oh, there's no fucking way I'm
Two
finishing that
out.
in
So
less
wait.
than 90 minutes.
So your
There's
version
no
of
way.
making food is like the coup de grace, like Chef Ramsay. You're cutting and you're making your own pasta, and then everything else under that you're saying like is not real food.
No, I don't even make my own pasta. But like short
Okay,
of
so
that,
like
I,
okay,
I
so
will
like
make.
okay, how long would it take you to make spaghetti? Spaghetti and a sauce.
Okay, spaghetti is actually extremely easy. So like that, I could probably do in like 20.
Okay, all right, spaghetti, man. Here we go.
Okay, well that's one meal. That's
I
one of
got
them.
I got him one.
Maybe like yeah, like spaghetti and like tacos. Those are very quick, easy meals.
Yes.
Like so, those are two. But like you're not
And
gonna
that
want
that
spaghetti
qualifies.
and tacos every
Yeah.
day.
What
When you
about
say
like soup?
spaghetti, do you mean like jar sauce or you mean like you're making the sauce like from like actual tomatoes and stuff?
I would say jar sauce counts, but it can't just be noodles and jar sauce. Like that is technically spaghetti, but I don't consider that a meal.
Yeah.
Like it has to at least have
That's
like
not real food.
some meat or a
Okay.
substance.
Oh,
Or
okay.
So
substance.
All right.
like
Yeah.
we get jarred sauce from Costco, but it's literally just the tomato sauce, and we put that into like, and we make a sauce from that. So like I would say that's
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
my limit of where I would say, all right, real food probably stops at that point. If you start mixing shit into the sauce, like nah, at that point, I don't know how much recognizable shit is left.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
God, yeah, just make some spaghetti, man. Just yeah, you can do it.
How am I supposed to warm that up in the car? I have to eat cold spaghetti now?
Are you in the car 8 hours a day? Like where? What's going on?
Yeah, that's like usually what's happening. Like if I leave the house,
Yeah.
like I'm in the car driving
Okay.
around or like literally running somewhere. Like
Running somewhere.
yeah,
So
I don't
so
leave the house unless I absolutely have to. And I'm not
so wait,
lollygagging or wasting any time.
wait. So you are at the house most of the time then, or not at the
Right,
house?
yeah. So
Okay.
like I don't experience this every day. Most
Okay.
days I get to just be at
Okay.
home and eat lunch like a normal person. But whenever I
Okay.
do leave the house on those days, which I'd say are like maybe like 2 to 3 times a week,
Okay.
then those days are a 60-40 chance of whether I'm eating anything or just buying something and
Okay.
throwing it directly in the garbage.
So what we're saying is the majority of the days you could make your own lunch.
Yeah, and I do. Or actually, no, that's not even true. I could make my own lunch. That's where the facts stop.
That's where it is. That's the end.
Yeah, yeah.
But he
I will
does
still
not.
sit at home and just skip lunch completely and be like,
Uh,
whatever.
Okay, so
okay.
then let me just ask this. In a course of a week, how many of your meals consist of more than 75% real food?
Wait, what? How
Like
many of my meals?
if you had spaghetti and sauce, that doesn't count as real food. But let's say you had chicken breast with it that you made yourself. Now it's real food. How how often let's say you're eating 3 square meals a day, so 7 times 3, 21. Like out of those 21 meals, how many of those are real food? And I'm
Oh
only counting it
man.
as real food if there's more than 75% of that what you're eating counts as
It's
real food.
okay, I get it. I get it. Okay. I would say a week, you said? In a week?
Hmm.
I would say like one meal a day. I try to make sure is always like something real. So
Okay.
so that's a third basically. But the other two meals are likely not going to be. But sometimes I get two good meals a day, but almost never three. Like that almost doesn't actually happen. Like my last meal, my late night meal, I mean, yeah, this is my ramen and chicken nuggets. Like I always eat some complete garbage for my late night meal.
Okay. What
But
about
generally a third, 30%. That's pretty bad. Maybe 50 if you want to average it out.
I think that's probably better than most. I don't know, actually. So what about you, John?
Like 90%.
But you have like a dietary restriction where like you don't have a
No,
choice.
it's not a restriction. I decided on this.
Well,
Um,
like you're restricted from eating at like McDonald's for one
yeah,
because they
but
don't have
yeah, but I'm saying I
any
restricted.
options for
I
you.
restricted myself though. It's not like I can't go there. I could any day I want. I could go there. I wouldn't die if I had McDonald's. I'd be fine.
You would go there?
I mean, I don't want to eat there, but I could
Well,
eat
yeah.
there.
Oh God. Oh, okay. I just figured it was absolutely not an option for you.
No, no, it's nothing like that. I just know that with I'm healthier trying to not trying to like figure out how much of it I can have, which is I feel like what a lot of people the problem people have, and just cutting it out altogether. Like I have a much easier time just sticking to one thing and like have that regimented, even if it means like my options sort of dwindle. Because then you have to be a little bit more creative with a smaller list.
So what if we were stranded in a desert and then we came upon a lone McDonald's perfectly functioning and staffed? What
Yeah,
would you get?
if we were alone in the desert. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
And you're starving. Like this is your only food option,
Yeah.
period.
Oh yeah, I would
What
get
would you get?
whatever the fuck they have that's already made. I'd just just fucking eat that. I wouldn't like
Well, that's
try to
anything.
stay vegan.
I'm just curious, what would you end up getting? Like,
Like a like so what is my McDonald's order is basically what you're
yeah.
asking. Probably a double quarter pounder.
Holy shit, a double quarter pounder? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm vegan, but if I have to, I will fuck that
Yeah,
beef up.
fuck yeah, of course. What? Yeah. Like I
I was
am
not expecting
I
that. I
am
thought you were gonna be like, I'll get a McChicken and take the chicken off and just eat the bun
fuck
and
out of
the
What?
here. Fuck. I'm fucking starving. Are you kidding me? I'm
You're
a
like,
I'm
no,
a
give me
I'm a
two
rational
patties.
I'm a rational vegan, not a fucking emotional one. Fuck that.
You're like, beef. It's what's for dinner.
I
Like
think
if
it is
my life
important
depends on it.
to like make a distinction. Like I
No,
think
for
everyone
sure.
just assumes that like if you're vegan that it's like oh, I want to like save the planet.
No,
Oh,
no,
like
fuck
like
off.
yeah.
That's so dumb. No, no, no. We're generally healthier, like just generally, when we have more plants in our diet. that does not mean that you're gonna like keel over if you have beef. Like you'll be fine. The problem I have is after I started looking into my food a lot, I had a really hard time going back to the store and buying meats after that because now I know too much about how the process from getting from one place to another is, and that's like it's like once you know about hot dogs, you don't eat a lot of hot dogs. I don't know if I feel that way.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
it's
true.
just hard to go back, and it's not that I would not eat them. I definitely would if I could guarantee the quality of them. So like, yeah, I would if I was on like vacation and they're serving up fucking fish that they caught yesterday or like this morning. Yeah, I'll have some fish. Absolutely, for sure.
Okay,
Give me the
that's funny.
fish. Give me the beef.
We want the beef. Yeah, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if I'm not vegan in like a year. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I found a cattle farmer. Cut me up that beef.
Yeah, what if what if you were stranded, Gouda, and all there was like a like a barbecue place?
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, oh my god. That's
A barbecue place. And the storefront
no,
was
dude. That's oh my god.
There's like
Could
Mike's
just
yeah.
oh my
And the
sweet
storefront,
meat.
the storefront, it's shaped like a Sweet Baby Ray's bottle.
oh my goodness. Like wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat the sides then. And I
Yeah,
just,
actually, at a place like that, there's always like sides that aren't
yeah,
Yeah,
sweet
I'm
meat.
just gonna have like some collard greens, man, macaroni and
Yeah.
cheese, all
yeah.
that stuff. But just to like clarify, the reason he said barbecue is because I really hate like sweet meat. Like any
Sweet
meat
meat.
that's prepared with like a sweet sauce or glaze or like I just think it
He
just doesn't really make sense to me.
he hates
So
all of the South basically. He hates all
no,
of Southern cuisine.
no, because like all not all like southern, not even all barbecue is sweet. Like there's like
I think most Southern
different
barbecue got a little
versions.
sweet,
Well, it's not all of it.
just a
So
little bit,
Sweet meat.
just a little sweet meat.
yeah, I would still eat at the yeah, I would still eat at that place.
You can never go wrong with fries
Hmm.
most of the
Yeah,
time.
hell yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Fries.
Yeah. All right. So to kind of end that conversation, what do you guys think then? On average, like the average American, how many meals out of 21 right now is real food versus not, based on the conversation that we just had?
Uh,
Feel like, yeah, it depends on your age, like you said. Like, is the average American like 50? Because then I'd be like, they probably eat mostly real food. But if it's like you said,
no,
40
I
or
don't
less,
think so. I think it's
then
even
I'm
less
gonna
than that.
say no. Really?
Yeah, I don't think most people are eating anything but fake food.
Like
Like,
boxed mac and cheese and
yeah, like
instant noodles and
I think that's most of Americans.
hmm,
I think
damn.
I think you can the way I would think about it is like the proportions of the grocery store that actually have food that you would consider real. How much real estate does that take up in the store versus how much real estate does all the processed stuff take up? And
The
that
stuff that's in a box or a can or
right.
frozen.
Right. So and then you could even take some of the stuff off that's not like if it's like pure pumpkin, like it's purified pumpkin, like you could take those few items off. I think you'd still be left with an overwhelming majority of processed food real estate. And I think that is probably the exact representation percentage wise of like Americans that are actually getting real food versus fake.
That's like
Or fake food versus real.
what you said, a solid like 80-20.
Yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
So not a
Okay.
lot. I gotta believe it's probably like 20%. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not gonna be generous. I was gonna say 90% aren't eating like
Yeah. You're probably right.
I would say only 10% of the time. I think people believe that they're eating like real like good like nutritious stuff, but it's actually still just garbage.
Mm, that might be true too.
And it's like, this hot dog packed with all sorts of mystery meats. I heard it's good
Mr.
for you.
Mystery meats.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, I
That's
think
crazy.
you are misinformed.
It is crazy. What's also crazy is that they have you guys seen that they now are able to like make meat in a vat? Like real
Ew.
deal Holyfield, like this is chicken that we just like synthesize using science.
Isn't
I
it like
heard
super
something like that.
expensive though?
What'd you
Like
say, Laura?
$200,000 for like a bite of steak or something like that?
Yeah. Right
Okay, yeah,
now, yeah.
I have heard of it then, yeah.
And you have too, John.
I think so, yeah.
All right. If the cost comes down enough, would you consider that like a viable means to get your protein? If it came out like there was a device you could put in your home and you just press a button and then you just like
Uh,
come back an hour later and now you have a pound of chicken flesh or or beef flesh.
Wagyu steak. Yeah, how
Yeah.
could it be Wagyu though?
I mean, like if you know how to, yeah, you could eventually like know what the muscle fibers and like the fat ratios and like how to
I
build
guess,
it,
yeah.
like 3D print, just like a
3D print some Wagyu beef.
yeah.
I
How
would
would you
eat
guys
it.
feel about that?
I feel like the meat industry is disgusting enough as is. Like, I don't feel comfortable eating it now, but like,
No, I would not.
whatever.
I would not do that.
Why not? It's real meat and nothing
No.
is killed. It's actually way better. Why don't you want to do it?
Something about synthesizing it doesn't quite sit right with me. I don't know, like that the description of that process is not. I don't know enough about it to just be like, yeah, it's the exact same thing. Like, no,
So you so
no,
you
it's
need to
not.
see something
Because the
lose its
thing
life and the blood to splatter all over the ground. Then you're like, that's real good
that,
eating.
but that's in part, that's how you know that it's natural, that it lived in some way at one point. That's
So if it
like
doesn't
that's
suffer,
part of the
you don't
Mm.
mark.
want it.
That's like part of the marker of natural. Even vegetables, like you have to separate them from some like
Yeah.
connection to
Do you
the
get?
earth.
Yeah. Is there anything that you can eat that wasn't once alive or part of a living like food, like a life cycle? Is there anything?
Yeah,
I think
probably
there is.
probably in that 90% of
Oh no,
of the
well, I guess
store.
that's like technically part of a life cycle still.
Yeah, it's not. It was never. Okay, that's interesting. The fact that it was never actually alive, like, takes away its nutritional value for you.
In some ways, I have to at least question the nutritional value a lot more, like in a much more scrutinizing manner than I would something that I saw from farm to table. Because I understand like that process is already well bored out that there's nutrients from things that live on the earth and that could be produced like through the ground. But you in a lab, that is not a proven process for me. I have to see some more evidence on that one.
There's proof. Here's the meat right in front of you. Eat it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you
They
could make
said
something
eat
that
it.
looks like meat. Yeah, but get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
So all they have to do is just like make you understand like the process. Then you're okay.
Yeah, or name it something different. Like why are you sharing the name meat? Like that's the other thing. Like just
Because that's what
separate.
it is.
But but it isn't though. Like it's not because the term meat I feel like implies that process that we just talked about of it previously being living. That's what we understand meat to be. So like why share a name with that if that's not even part of the process that got it here for me? Like I
Well,
that's
okay.
why I kind of
Wait,
don't like
wait. Like
how plant foods do that shit too. They're like they're like vegan burgers. Like it's not really a burger. Like
Wait,
it's like a
so
patty
you
of shit you put together, and that's okay. But just say that.
You said it's a patty
I'll
of shit.
I
still
mean it
I'll
is.
still try it. Like
So are you saying that the snow on the ski slope isn't real because it didn't come from the sky?
in a
Huh.
way, yeah.
It's just
Okay,
crushed
well then
ice.
fine. Like, yeah, I mean at least you
Yeah.
you apply it to everything. Like
It
that's
is.
admirable.
It's weird.
I think it's real
I don't
snow,
know.
just to let you know. What do you think, Laura? Like just 'cause like we made it doesn't mean it's not snow. It's snow.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Is it still snow? It's not the same,
It's
but
not the
I would
same.
still call it snow. I mean, I guess I wouldn't call it ice or water.
It's
Yeah, so it
snow.
depends on the form. So if you
I,
take shit that looks like meat and form it into a
if
patty, then
we're basically saying
that's
then as we create things, we're gonna just make it so that the words that apply to nature don't like they basically lose or they have to share their meaning with other things that don't have those same characteristics. Which I feel like if all you have is the synthetic world or all you have is the natural world or nature stuff, that would work. But if you have a blend of the two, like when you say like let's say someone had all synthetic snow and they like could make it snow in front of their house and they're like, oh yeah, it snowed by my house. Like, did it really snow? Like that, it's like that kind of shit. Like I don't want you to interchange synthetic
it's
shit
true.
and act like it's the same thing, because when I talk about those words, I'm talking about all the things like that thing's characteristics bring, like that process of its life. And if it had no life, you can't just like implant it and be like, yeah, this is the perfectly exact same thing. Like, no, it's not the
I
same.
mean, but it wasn't snowing, but there is snow.
Yeah, he
No,
At
wasn't wrong.
no.
He
yeah,
said it snowed at my house.
Or just
Like
say,
it's true.
or say manufactured. Like, or to put something in front of it that really sets it apart, so I know that it's not the thing. Like that's why I let the plant stuff go. Like because it's like, yeah, I understand. You're putting that word in front of it because you're making it seem like it looks like this thing, but you're also telling people like, yeah, it wasn't made of the same materials.
Synth meat.
Yeah, synth meat. Yeah, call it synth meat.
so do you believe that uh a cow that had a full and healthy life and then was slaughtered the right way, do you think that meat would be better than you than a vat steak?
Of that. Um, uh, my my thought is yes, but not because I know that the vat meat's bad. It's just that I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
So what if they
Well,
gave you a pamphlet?
No, I want to see it with some other people over some time, with my own eyes.
Okay. So once you see McDonald's completely replace their meat with synth meat for like 20 years, and there's a large population that
Why?
has gone through it.
No, why would I trust any? No, no. I see McDonald's customers. There's no one, nothing from there is to be trusted.
But okay, what if for 20 years they had replaced it already and like no changes have been made to their customers? Like they all still die at the same amount of time that they would have died before.
So you
Then would you
replace?
eat some synth meat?
No, wait, no. Why? Wait, what? That how is the selling point that everyone is still dying at the same rate? Like that's such a crazy thing to say. It's like
Because it's ethically acceptable meat now. But like you said,
no.
you're not eating meat because
No,
of
because
ethics anyways.
even when they're equal, even when like all nutrition values are equal, I still think that process is worth something. I think that has to like Guda was saying, like the suffering of it or like the disconnection of it from life. That I think that's part of it.
I mean, what if they could 3D print kale or like any sort of vegetable? Does it
I
do
don't
you feel
want
the
3D
same
print.
about
I
vegetables
don't want
too?
3D printed kale. I don't want that.
Like a
Part of me
3D
knowing
printed
part of me
celery
connecting with kale is the fact that it's from like that I know where it's from. Like I don't know what it is when you synthesize a food. Like what? What even is that?
stalk.
It's the exact same thing that real kale is. Like
No,
down to like the molecular
nah,
Yeah,
structure and everything.
you
nah.
It's the
can
exact
tell.
same.
I think the experience of the atoms matter.
Okay. No, I can get behind that. What is that called? That must be like some kind of theory, right?
I have no idea, but maybe. Yeah, that sounds like it could be.
Naturalism. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm
That
not even
sounds right.
saying like I would not eat, because obviously I've had processed foods before, and I eat processed foods now still. But yeah, if I have to pick one, yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick the thing that I know had a lifespan, something that I understand. I'm not going to. That's the thing. I'm not gonna consume things that I don't have a decent understanding of, or at least I'm gonna try not to.
For some
So
reason, I feel way more comfortable eating synth plants than synth meat.
Synth
Like I feel like I
plants.
would like if they were like, yeah, you can 3D print vegetables of any sort. Like I feel like I would eat that like immediately. Like I don't know why I feel like zero fear from that, but for some reason I don't.
hmm.
But meat, I'm wary of. I would do it, but yeah, I'm still wary.
have
That
you
meat,
ever have you ever gotten sick like from plants?
and maybe that's why. Not that I ever know of.
I'm sure
Like
it's
when
not.
I'm sure it's happened, but like when I'm throwing up, I don't remember any times throwing up where I was like, man, I'm really throwing up this plant-based meal I just had.
But it has to happen. But I think everyone just immediately like we've gotten to a point where everyone knows a little bit too much about the meat industry and like it's not like they're actually doing anything well. Like these concerns are not unfounded, but it's just like when you think about meat, it's almost like immediately you think about things being dirty or like not quite right or diseased.
Mm,
And it's like if even like the vat meat thing doesn't like solve that, then like what's the point? Why even put all this like money and time into that if at the end of the day people are still gonna look at it and be like, ew.
I
yeah,
I think
that's true. That
I
is
think
true.
eventually people will allow it. They'll slowly go there.
So how long till they make human steak?
Ugh,
Human beef. Yeah.
yuck.
And if you can do it with like cow cells or pig cells, then like you can get human cells everywhere.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They'd probably still make it illegal though. Like, can't you not like have AI create like child porn? Isn't that illegal? I heard that was
I
illegal.
hope it is. They should make that
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it's like I think they just like group that in with the things that you shouldn't do, like understandably. I would assume they do the same thing with like human flesh.
But if it was
That's
never
so weird.
from like if a human never died for it, like
Right.
yeah,
What's wrong with
how do you police that or like what is the law exactly? What is it about having like human?
I I think
I feel
if
like
there
at
were
that point they just want you off the streets because there's something wrong with you in particular. Like, so it's like if you like this, we need to do something about it. Like, not even that you harmed anyone, but like, yeah, you just will.
Yeah, you think there's no separation like in the same way that John would like to know that the plant was once living. Like if someone got first addicted to human vat meat, eventually they would go and look for like the freshest, like real
I
stuff.
feel like I don't understand that, like, cause like I don't. If I if I was used to like beef, vat grown beef, I couldn't imagine that I would be like, now I want like the beef where I know it was living. Like, would I want like unless people were telling me it's really fucking good, but like who's telling this guy that human meat, live human meat, is really fucking good? Like, we have other problems now to deal with because there's a group of these people, but like,
Now I'm trying to figure this out. Like, is it a problem to even like make this like a possibility? The
yeah,
vat meat.
I feel like, is it a problem?
It seems like John
Like you
already has
said,
his answer.
it shouldn't be a problem. Like you said, like no one's getting harmed in the process, but now you get to experience human meat. But at the same
No, I
time,
didn't
there's just
say that.
something deeply disturbing.
I just feel like eventually someone would try it.
Yeah, you're right.
But okay,
There's
let me ask you
definitely
actually, like, what do you think, John? Is there a problem with bat meat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe I didn't know.
I think that's a problem. I feel like disconnecting people from some of like the most basic things that they should like have control over in their lives, like what they nourish themselves with, like those are things in my mind. Like if you really are someone who doesn't trust the government, that would be something that I would be that'd be the first thing that I would think. Like look at all the things that we eat that are just completely crazily processed, and like look at our general health during the times that those things became processed. Like, yeah, I don't know. I would have a pretty big distrust of any large group that would say, yeah, we're gonna fix this group by just synthesizing it, just with science. Like, yeah, that I don't know. I would be skeptical that that would bring better results for any of us.
what if it was the other way around? What if the synthesized group was living way longer than the rest of us?
Hmm.
And that like if you can get your hands on synthesized meat regularly, you're actually gonna be like way better off than like any of these other normies. Then would you be itching to get your hands on some synth meat?
I don't think so.
You'd be like, let me get that synth
It's
meat.
hard for me to even
Are you
imagine
sure?
that though. It's hard for me to even imagine that though because yeah, because all I've have the only experience I have with it is like right now. So I don't know. Would the version of me 200 years from now see it differently? Maybe. I don't know. With more information, perhaps.
A pamphlet.
A pamphlet. Yeah. No, no. I no. I need to see like I need to see some decades. I don't care about like the testing that you did. I need to see it in action.
I don't know. I might be on the side of bat meat. Like we used to slaughter pigs like out in the street, and like people were just like walking it barefoot. And
Ugh.
like finally we figured it out and like sanitized it a little bit so that it could be
She
mass
said,
produced enough for
walking the street barefoot in the blood of a slaughtered pig. Like, ugh.
yeah. So I mean like how is that different from how we process stuff now to progressing to vat meat? It's just like the purest, cleanest, most streamlined version of farming what we need from the land. The land being atoms and
Nutrient
particles.
replication.
That's still,
Yeah.
yeah, that's still farming, man. We're just doing it like in a new dimension. Dimensional
Yeah.
farming, man.
Think smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, no
Synth
thanks.
meat.
The vat.
Yeah, I would
I
do
think
it.
about synth meat. What I think, what I would I guess like the health nuts before McDonald's came out thought about McDonald's. Like I can't prove that it's bad for you. It just doesn't seem quite right to me. That's all I can tell you. I don't know enough. And I could be the guy before McDonald's, or I could be the guy before they started doing like free range beef. I don't know. Like I could be on either side. I could be completely right or completely wrong. But I just know I would want some more some more hard evidence before I committed.
Okay. Understand. Understandable. But you're
Oh,
in, bro. You're in for the vat.
Yeah. But unless you said, like you said, if they were like rolling it out to only the poorest countries and communities first, then I wouldn't do it. But if only the richest people had like could get, if it was like exclusive to only the rich, it'd be like, give me that meat. Like, come on, man. How do I get my hands on some of this meat?
But it could
uh,
still be heinous even though it's like an exclusive product.
No,
yeah.
no way. The rich people know. They don't get rich
Are
because
you
they
kidding
don't
me?
know.
What were you doing?
You
The
think
Epstein Island thing.
yeah.
They weren't eating any fucking like bad meat, that's for sure. I bet you they didn't have any chicken nuggets there.
It was all bad. The whole thing was tainted.
But there were
So,
no
all right,
chicken
so
nuggets.
if a guy that you are like he can like verify that his net worth is over 1 billion, like came to you with a plate of food and he was like, "Hey, like I got this new cuisine. It's from I don't even know whatever country that you can't even pronounce and or you forget it's even there half the time." And he's like, "We're just trying to like test it out with some of like the common people. Do you want to try it?" You would immediately assume that this is about to be like the best food you've ever had in your entire life.
If he was eating it, I would, yeah. But if he wasn't, I'd be like, okay, I am an experiment. But if he was eating it too, he's like, dude, you gotta try this. Like,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I know he's this is something he consumes for sure and like likes to consume. Then I'd be like, yeah, there must be something at least above average about this food. Like whether it's like more healthy for you or tastes extra good or the rarity is something to like brag about essentially. Like there must be something about this. But if it was just like Bosco sticks from the freezer aisle, like I'd be like, I would be
You're like,
surprised. Yeah, for sure. Like I would be like, yeah, I'd be surprised and
okay,
disappointed.
I don't know. For me, somehow I'm already thinking like there must be something like deviant about it. Like I'm like sure I'm eating like some orphan child like pancreas. Like that's what you're serving me. Like
Yeah, but
for
what if it
sure.
makes you live 30 years longer?
Dude, if that's if that's what my life is gonna be for the extra 30 years, is eating more child pancreas, I don't think I'm about it. Yeah, I don't
What
think
if
it's
like
worth
the
it.
child deserved to die?
Okay, whatever. Like this is not even. There's no way. Yeah, no.
I,
That's
I'm
that's
just
no,
kidding.
no, no. I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it doesn't seem like our food is getting any more natural. It seems like it's just going in the opposite direction. I don't think anyone's just gonna go and like raise all the slaughterhouses or grain mills or anything like that. So I don't know. Eventually, you're just gonna have to get used to that meat. Sorry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume it's just gonna be like
Nah, I'm gonna
pushed
move
on
to an
us.
island then. I'm just gonna get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
Epstein Island.
Nah, not that one.
Oh my god.
Oh, real quick, speaking about abominable science, um, did you guys see
Penis?
that?
Oh.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
You didn't hear that he got that penis enlargement?
Who?
Drake?
Oh, no, that's not. No, I didn't hear that.
You
Nah, I
didn't hear
wasn't. I
that?
wasn't looking out for that one.
Yeah,
No,
he
I
got
mean,
it and then accidentally leaked his like dick pic. He's like, "Oops, guys." Oh, and then it was just like
he
super
got a
fake.
surgery. Wow. Okay, well, what a way to live. uh, like I just couldn't even. Yeah, I don't want, dude, a surgery on my genitals. No, I don't care like what it's gonna give me. Like, never. Not as long as I'm an adult. But um, yeah. So speaking of abominable science, did you guys see that some like super rich guy is sponsoring and funding the steroid Olympics? Like
Oh,
an Olympics where everyone can be.
drugs is
Hold
legal.
on. Yeah, let me get this quote right.
This is wild. He's
Juiced
gonna get
to the
sued to
gills.
oblivion.
No,
Juice.
it's like no, it's like all on the up and up.
I don't know what country he would have to do this in. I'm sure he could find some country to do it in. But like, if you tried to host this event in any like country that has like a different, decent civil government, I would assume like these people are gonna kill themselves trying to win this thing. and put like an ungodly amount of steroids inside them so they can clench that first place medal. And like that's what's gonna happen. Like I would assume like yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna kill themselves.
Hmm. Interesting. I mean, I never even considered that people might die in the pursuit of ultimate strength and performance.
I think that's already
I don't think
happening.
it's, yeah. I don't think people are in, yeah, I think when you, I mean, I don't know. From what I understand, when you do steroids, like, there's like a method to the madness. Like you have like a routine and
Is
like
it just
targeting.
steroids that's legal, or can you do meth and steroids?
I don't know like what's legal, man. I think yeah, I think it's just that they're not gonna test for anything.
So yeah, I would assume that like someone's gonna do like a hit of meth and cocaine and like already be juicing up for like weeks before then. And then
Do
what's
you
another upper? And drink like a cup of black coffee and then
I think you
die.
can still drink coffee in most competitions. Maybe.
Yeah, the coffee's not even illegal. Yeah, probably yeah, you're probably right about that.
But I would just be interested to see like if it turns out that everyone is like way better, like spectacularly better. Like like how do you proceed from there? Because it's been like my experience, like especially with March Madness going on over here, which is like the basketball thing. I feel like everyone probably knows about it. But I think people want to see like the best athletes like playing their best. And if it turns out that like the best athletes are juiced to the gills, like do you think that would actually change anything?
Like if anyone just like found out that that's what it was.
No, just the very like getting to see someone perform at that level. Like can you
I feel like it would be like way more fun. Like as long as people weren't dying right in front of your eyes. Like, but if they're like pushing the limits of like literal human physicality, then like, yeah, that should be interesting. Like, so I'm gonna see a guy do like a half court slam dunk. Like, yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
stuff like
cool.
that. Yeah, so in the same way that like foods are gonna like go so far in the future that it's like not even of the natural world. It's like stuff that can only be made possible once we manipulate matter, basically. Like if that starts happening, like is that gonna end? Is that real sports? Like when you watch it, are you gonna be like, "Ah, pew, these people are not real. Like this is Boulder Dash."
That's true. And like also like what happens when people start genetically modifying themselves? Like, does that count? That's like it's gonna be all happening at the same time, basically.
No,
Because
that won't be able to count. You'll have to be in a completely separate category at that point.
but how would you know? How could you prove someone was genetically modified? Unless it was like obvious, like their forearms were so big that they could like punch you to the moon. And it's like, okay, there's something about this guy. Like, but like if you looked like still decently normal, but you were just like insanely physically fit just for no good reason.
What could you modify to have? Like, what could you even? How could you even do that?
I don't know. I mean, they're saying that it's like basically like already scientifically possible to do it. It's just like who's gonna be like brave enough to try it on themselves for real.
Yeah, we're we're finally gonna be able to see.
Yeah, like it's gonna happen in our lifetimes. Like we will see. We will see. I'm assuming, yeah, we'll see the Juiced Olympics. We'll definitely see genetically modified people, and it looks like we'll also see like robots, like just actual like iRobot robots. So like that's kind of interesting.
Oh
Yeah, what
yeah,
if
that
robots
happened.
get into the mix? Like, what if you can hire a robot to be on your team? Nah, that's not fair. I wouldn't watch that. I'd be like, I'm done. Like everything else, I would
That's what
consider,
makes
but
it
a
unfair.
robot, I'd be like, no. Like flesh and machine should not be in the same competition.
Yeah,
What about
at the point of genetic modification is where I would probably stop watching.
okay? So you're not gonna watch the Juiced Olympics.
Well, the Juiced Olympics I feel like is kind of close to what we already have today. Like I would assume that most extremely high profile athletes have or will take something to enhance themselves at some point in their career. What? I have no idea. But I feel like that's not an unreasonable thing to assume just
But
because
in the Juiced Olympics, that's the point. Like these guys are trying to
yeah,
hide that they're doing like that stuff. In the Juiced Olympics, you just that's the point.
yeah,
So like
but
could you just
in a
confirm
lot
it?
of sports I don't think that would be useful. Like I don't think just more juice would equal better results in the sports that I would want to watch. Like maybe in a strongman competition, but like if you've ever seen actual strongman competitions, that's already happening. They're already pushing the absolute limit of what they could reasonably take and make themselves stronger. So there would be no difference in a sport where it would actually make a difference because it's already happening in the sports where it makes a difference.
Yeah, how come those guys
Totally.
don't play football?
What?
How come those guys don't play football?
Because you would have to be because you can't be that size and play football. That's why. That because it
Why?
would be obvious. It'd be obvious that you were on something. You'd be tested and you'd be out of there instantly.
So that's really what it is, like because the only way you can get that big is if you're like juicing.
Yes. Yes. That is not a normal size for any person to be.
Yeah, because you would think if they ever wanted to put their body to real use and make some real money, you can join like a professional sport and like be the best fucking no one would ever be like
So
boxing,
some of those
football,
guys used to play
anything.
some of those guys used to play sports like that, and then after if they got injured or something like that, then they might go to to a
Professional
strongman.
juicing.
Yeah, yeah. But basically,
The Juice Clinic.
legitimately, like you don't think those guys like there's people that are deadlifting over 1,000 pounds. You think it's a normal thing for a human being to be able to pick up 1,000 pounds from like a standing position?
A
That's not
thousand
that's not
pounds.
normal.
You would be able to like
It's
break
impressive
another
as
human in
fuck.
half.
Yeah, like seriously, yeah, you probably could. It's
It's
impressive,
not normal,
but it's
but it's
not normal.
possible.
But it's
Like
possible, yeah,
it's
possible.
that now we
Uh,
know that the human body is like it's capable of doing those things
With some help, yes.
in extreme circumstances.
Yes.
So think about what else we could do.
I'm not that interested in those extremes. That seems unhealthy to me.
a bunch of Hulks going at
I
it,
would not
like
stop you if that's what you want to do. Because in some cases, yeah, it's interesting to me. Like seeing a guy like pick up 1,000 pounds is that's a crazy thing to even fathom. Or like a car or some shit, like that's nuts. But I would not want to participate in that. Like if it's a whole sanctioned like Olympics means like multiple sports. Like that's a
Yeah,
crazy thing to think. Like I don't
they're
want
all
multiple.
juiced.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's not. That doesn't seem good.
Everything is going to be incredible. Every event, every second is going to be highlight worthy.
Yeah, and
someone's
they'll
gonna
be dead
die.
before the next
Multiple
Olympics
people.
Yeah,
every
people
time.
will
Yeah.
die.
No one will ever be able to repeat or three-peat because they'll all die.
Like
That's
you
the
have to
tagline.
basically build an island in international waters and have it there. Like that's the only way
Yeah.
you can
And that kind of takes away
legally
from it.
escape from this.
Like, would you really watch the Olympics? Like, would you really be as interested in the Olympics if the years that Usain Bolt, like, before he had broke those records, if there wasn't all the lead up to, like, the fact that he used to be, like, a 200 runner and then, like, he won the first time and the second time? The whole point is to see the person, like, go through a long career, like so that you can have some type of attachment to like their accomplishments. If you only see them do it one time and they're just dead, you start to question whether or not this
Yeah.
thing you're watching is really worthwhile. Like everyone who does this is gone.
I
If
mean,
it, I mean, if it
if
has a
you
100% death rate, then like, yeah, you can never get attached to anyone.
if you
But
die
if
at
some people did
22,
survive,
Dude, bodybuilding, like professional bodybuilding, I won't say 100%, but like there are a lot of those motherfuckers dropping dead, like not in their 50s, some of them in their 50s, but like some of them in their late 20s. Like Dude, what the fuck? Like, you're not supposed to be that size at 27. Like, you just can't do that. It's not good for you.
That
So yeah,
can't be good.
there are some, but there are some sports like that that exist, and it's sanctioned and perfectly legal. But like, they don't admit that the people are juicing. I don't think. But like, everyone like, you can't be. That's not real. You can't be that cartoonish and be real.
Juiced. That's
Yeah, you
hilarious.
can be
Yeah.
real juiced.
So disgusting.
But they're still alive.
For
Seems real to
now,
me. Yeah, I mean that's true.
shit.
But before they go, don't you want to see them do something crazy?
I mean, again, if you're gonna do it, I'm not gonna stop you. I might watch, but holy shit, that is not a road I would recommend. But yeah, I guess I'll be watching like everybody else.
Okay, just making sure.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
that consumerism, it's really got us.
Yeah, the only way to go is more.
More, more,
More.
more, 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 more,
more,
more.
Yeah,
more,
more
more.
entertainment, more juice.
More, more, more,
More
more,
juice.
more.
uh, yeah. I'm just gonna end it there. Um,
That'll work.
Okay.
thank you for a good episode, fellas. Episode 50. Uh, yeah, until next time. Get juiced.